Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with fabulous concert programs. Number 49, number 4 in our cycle of symphonies by Arnold Bax. Greetings to the planet Baxia and its jolly denizens. Now, the 4th symphony is not Bax's strongest. At least I don't think. And that really has to do with its emotional temperature. You know, Bax was at his best when he could really let all the passion just sort of hang out, when he was very, very intense and dark and spooky. Well, the 4th is mostly kind of happy for Bax. It's kind of light, but it does have a few things going for it. First of all, it's very enjoyable. It's a very enjoyable piece. It has a wonderful opening, really first-rate, exciting. And the first 4 or 5 minutes have an enormous amount of drive. After that, the first movement kind of meanders a bit. It does a sort of stream of consciousness thing, and then it finds itself and everything's okay. So it does take a certain amount of concentration. The slow movement and finale are beautiful, and it does have a loud ending, which is a little bit unusual for Bax's symphonies. He preferred to end softly. Well, it's sort of half and half, but I think from an expressive point of view, he was happiest when he could write a slow elegiac epilogue. And the 4th is really just plain, sort of, okay, guys, everything's all right. We're going to have a good time. And you do. But for that reason, I put it on the first half of the program, because I think the opening is so arresting. Just that dum bum 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 bum, that almost mechanical sort of quality with the throbbing organ pedal right there. And it's really, really marvelous the way it starts. It's so gripping. But on the other hand, I want to have the audience fresh, because it is going to sort of wander a little bit in the middle. So I don't want them to feel get bored. And then, the rest of it takes care of itself. So that's the first half, Bax's 4th Symphony. And sometimes, I like to do what Mahler did, which is you put the longest and most difficult work right up front. So the audience is fresh and they respond accordingly. They just are like, oh, this is an interesting novelty. They're ready to sit there. And then you worry about the second half later. So the second half consists of 2 pieces, which are very, very different, but I think that somehow work together. Don't ask me why. They just do. After intermission, Rautavaara, Cantus Arcticus, the concerto for taped bird sounds and orchestra. It's gorgeous. One of the most beautiful contemporary works, and totally haunting, and one of the very few that actually successfully integrates electronic sounds, taped sounds, into an orchestral context. And it's only about 20 minutes long. It's just wonderful and fun, and it's a real novelty, and people will really, really enjoy it. But then we wrap it up with an epic tone poem, The Tragedy of Salome, by Florent Schmitt. Oh my God, is this fun. Now you have to play the crap out of it. You really do, because the end is just devastating with crashing tam-tam and hysteria and all hell breaking loose. It's so much fun. It really is. It has an offstage, wordless soprano. So it sort of fits with the Cantus Arcticus. You have, sort of these strange voices from afar, whether they're birds or women. What's the difference? So it's really, really a fabulous way to end the program. And it also comes from that same sort of fin de siècle decadent school of orchestration as the Bax, but the style is quite different. It's much more melodic. It's much less harmonically abstruse than the Bax is, but they work somehow together as being these sort of big romantic, you don't want the concert to be an anticlimax. So that restores the state of balance. It throws in an amazing novelty. And between these 3 works, you have a really fascinating concert of lesser known music. Now, this is not going to be the kind of thing that's going to attract billions. You're not going to have a flashy soloist unless one of the birds has a following, which I don't really think is going to be the case. But, you can risk it. It's going to be because there are people who know the Schmitt. They really do, because it's Jean Martinon's earlier recording, and it's been recorded a bunch of times since then. Bax, of course, has the planet Baxia backing him, so they'll buy up all the extra tickets and give them to their friends. I know that. So that's okay. And the Rautavaara is a piece that really deserves to be played a lot. It's so much fun. I've seen it live a couple times, believe it or not, and it works wonderfully, wonderfully well. So that's the program. I think it's really an interesting one. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.